basically like I got hit with, electrical plumbing, like times 3 units.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm rehabbing 3 units.
All right. What's up? Welcome to Podcast Perspectives. I'm in here with my man Rodney. Appreciate you for coming through, my man.
Thanks for inviting me, man.
Appreciate you, Brody. Real estate guy, doing a lot of big things in real estate. I don't even want to be the one to tell your story, so if you want, so you can tell people what you do, what you want them to know. Got
you. So, first, man, I just want to thank you for bringing me out to your podcast. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. Like, I just been wanting to tell my story, tell my perspective. And so, like Rodney, I'm from Flint, Michigan, born and raised. Single parent household. Let me backtrack.
Like most.
Right. So like my parents, they stayed together, divorced up until I was about 8. And then they split. Humble beginnings, single mom, working a low wage, trying to figure it out. I'm watching that growing up, struggling and whatnot. And I just never liked that feeling of not being able to have control over my stability like that. Okay. So, make a long story short, I'll speed it up to high school. In high school, I didn't graduate on time. And I'm a smart guy, right? But at the same time, I had so much stress on me, it affected me in school. And make a long story short, I wound up graduating in summer school. And by the time I exited, school in general, my whole mind state was like, I'm about to come up out of Flint. I'm about to come up out of all of this struggling stuff. And, but like most, if you growing up, you ain't really taught, the way the world works, business, finance, credit, stuff like that. You starting from scratch. So, my whole thing was which way is up. Long story, I don't want to keep saying long story short.
You good, my man. You good, my man.
But I figured the quickest way for me to get up out of there was go to the military. And that wasn't even something that I grew up seeing. I just literally had a friend who I hadn't seen in a while. He was just like, yo, man, I'm about to go to the Navy. Yeah. And he was like the quickest person I seen get up out the ghetto. Yeah. Like most, I would see people, they go off to college, make some mistakes, and come back home. Or, that's it.
So for you, joining the military, I know a lot of people who just join the military. So for you, joining the military was like an escape route.
Yeah, definitely. Cause
I don't know what else to do, so I'm going in the military.
Basically, I had to escape, not having cash in my pocket, had to escape towards some opportunity. And so then I go to the military, get a chance to get some traveling in, get some exposure, and get some money for school. And, while I was I went to school online. I got like a degree in business. And even during that time, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, I was working on jets like mechanic. I ain't grew up turning on wrenches or nothing like that. I knew I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. And I also knew, like, it's just this feeling inside me. Like, I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that's like life right there. Like, it's something about this feeling that I'm getting that's telling me this shit is not it. So
a lot of people ignore that. They just keep going, like, figure it out.
Yeah, and to your point, it's kind of like, are you going to put what you really want to do behind bars and give it like a prison sentence where you just lock it up, it's there, but you just lying to yourself, walking around in life, doing some other type of shit.
So what was it that gave you that push to be like, man, I got to choose or I got to figure out how I want to do this? Like, what was that? Was it a moment? Question. Was it a person? Like, what was that?
It was a feeling. Like the same feeling I felt right before I left Flint, like I got to get up out of here. I felt that same exact feeling. It was like that familiar energy, that familiar feeling. Because I had signed up for 6 years contract, and I was coming towards the end of it, and I was like, do I really want to sign up for another 4, another 6?
So how does that work? So when you finish, you go to the Air Force, whatever armed forces, when your contract is up, it's kind of like sports. Like they just like, hey, your contract about to be up. Sign the extension.
Basically, you can, and I've been out. I've been out for about 10 years now. So some of this stuff, for anybody in the military, I might say something wrong, but you can extend or re-enlist. Okay. Like you can maybe extend for a couple years. I'm probably wrong when I say that. Okay. I know for a fact, you just re-enlist, do another 4 year, do another 6. And just at that point, like I said, I was feeling that feeling like, I got to get up out of here. And I had some money saved up. And one thing I'll say is like, just growing up, my mom used to always have moments where she wouldn't have enough to pay like rent or a bill, or she needs some money for gas, get to work. So like
when you was a kid?
Yeah.
You couldn't do nothing. You just like...
Right. I'm just experiencing it. I'm just
listening. That's funny. Like when you were a kid, like you see all this stuff, like what your parents go through, and you just kind of like, it's funny because when I think about it for myself, it's like, you notice those moments, and it's like, it's kind of like you watching the TV. Like you just like, oh, they can't pay bills. Oh, they talking about money. Oh, they complaining about this. Like, it's just funny. Like, that's when you start, that's where that learning start. That's why I tell like a lot of people with their kids, like your kids learn from what they see and what they're hearing, not just what you telling them, like the way they see you act and handle yourself and do things. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Now on top of that, I just remember like feeling helpless. Like, see, I'm watching this just like you said, like a movie, and not having no skill set to do nothing about it. But what I did,
aside from being a little kid,
yeah, but indirectly, what I did learn was how to hold on to. It's the beginning of me learning how to save, really. Like whatever money I would get for Christmas, or if my dad, if he sent me something, you know what I mean, I just hold on to it because I already knew,
As a kid, so how old you was when you started doing that? You started like stacking your little baby money up.
Man, I was probably intentionally doing it because I knew we'll probably need it for a bill. I'll probably say like maybe about 10 years old, something like that.
I was doing that at 10. I was spending that money. I was going to the candy lady store.
Yo.
Give me some snacks. Yeah, that's cold. So you was using it. So when you were saving the money up, when you say you started intentionally doing, so I guess at one point you just was doing it, and then it eventually became like, let me really save this money.
Yeah.
And you was helping paying bills with that?
Don't get me wrong. Like at 10, it might have just been a moment where it's like my mom don't have no gas or something like that.
You let it go in the stash.
I just had it. But, stepping into them teenage years, that's when I started realizing like, okay, this is like, normal. Like this happening more often. So
saving your money and stuff?
Nah, like random problems might pop up,
and you need money.
Yeah.
So you started learning about having emergency funds as a kid. Wow, that's crazy. That's like, crazy. That's crazy.
Tire pop, or like a hose leaking in the car. Need to get fixed, something like that.
Yeah.
I just started really picking up on it's some things that's gonna come up. So if I got something set aside, we get through that. We can get through it. Mm-hmm. But anyway, reason why I mention that is because I developed like sacrifice. I developed that insight on, you need to have something aside just in case.
That discipline.
I carried that same skill set and mindset into the military. And whenever I was getting paid, like I'll say them first 2 years, when I first left, I was just kind of decompressing, like, yo, like I'm out of here. I was decompressing, and at the same time, I'm sending money home, like to help out, So then,
Mom Dukes.
yeah. And now I'm also noticing like, yo, no matter how much I send back, it's never enough. Never enough to like solve that.
Okay.
So then I started pulling back like, yo, if I'm gonna make it, it's on me. So I gotta really hold this off for me. And by the time I came up to my 6th year, I had some money to get out. Like that was a part of the reason why I said, you know, I'm about to get out because I got a little money saved up. Yeah. So I got that fuck you money. Well, I don't even want to put it like that. Cause
hey man,
you know. But so at that point, it's 2011, recession real big. Everybody
a little bit after that that recession with in 2008, 2009.
Yeah. So like I'm getting out at the height, at the peak of the recession, and everybody like, you know, talking about it in a scramble. Then I'm saying to my family and everybody at work, like, yo, I'm about to get up out. Like I'm out.
All right.
Yo, you crazy? You sure you like why you want to get out? You know, it's a recession.
So where you at that point? Where you was at? Was you still in Flint at that time?
Nah, I was in Japan.
This is why you're still on base. Why you still okay?
Yeah, like I'm in Japan. It's the end. I'm coming to the end of my 6th year, and that moment where it's like, okay, are you gonna re-enlist? And like I had some money saved up, recession going on, and then I said to myself, I know I got me, like a up situation and a down situation. Like I know I got me. I know I can hold myself down.
Right, because you've been saving up emergency funds since you was a kid.
Exactly.
So you like, I don't know what y'all doing, but I know I'm gonna be all right. So
Right.
Before you even get too deep into the transition, take me back to, you know what I'm saying, you was in the Navy, right?
Nah, Air Force.
So take me back to the Air Force. On the Air Force, like what is it to do when you're there? Like I know I heard a story. I got a godfather in the Air Force. He's been trying to get me in there forever. So if he end up watching this, know like that wasn't for me.
Gotcha.
What is it to do? Like, what's the day to day at the Air Force? Like, you wake up, got these people probably screaming. Like, this is my mindset. These people screaming at you to get up and all this foolishness. Then you got your job. Like, what is life? What's a day in the Air Force?
So like, most people from the outside in, they look at it like, you know, you in the military, you gonna get yelled at, and that is a part of it. But like, that's more so like when you coming from
basic training or something?
Yeah, basic training. Because they got to whip you into shape. Because, you know, you got people coming from all over. From whatever they had going on in their life, whatever they got going on in their mind.
They trying to program you and get you into their robot.
They trying to, like, strip you down so they can, it's like they trying to get you to that baby child-like level. Where they can just build you back up how they, you know, want you to be. And it's mostly like a foundation of being able to listen, being able to follow some instruction and pay attention to detail. Like stuff that, you know, as a parent, you'll teach your kids like, hey, listen to me. Pay attention to what I'm saying to you, and I'm giving you some instructions, you know. Right. And like me, it taught me structure. Cause like with my dad, he was on, and I don't mean to put this out, you know, in case the family like catched it. I'm pretty sure they will, but he was on drugs. So he wasn't like really in the household like that. Okay. So like he wasn't, you know, present to put that structure 100% way on me.
Okay.
So I knew back when I was a teenager, like, yo, I'm missing some shit. Like I know I'm missing some structure. I know I'm missing any young man who, if you don't grow with your dad in the house, deep down,
seeking that love from afar. That's what you about to talk about, that masculinity in your life.
You seeking love from your dad, masculinity, and kind of like that preparation for the world, like that
how to be a man.
Yeah, how to be a man, you know, and you missed out on just that training, like that male side of the training. Cause your mom gonna raise you up and train you up a certain way, your dad.
You. Yeah. So do you feel like the Air Force kind of took that place of your pops, and they was kind of like the ones to instill, like, look, you got to be a man.
Well, even though you put it like that, frame it like that, like the raw answer is yes. Like, cause I just didn't have. It's like you can't see yourself. Like, let's say if I come in raw, you might notice some things about me to where you could tell, like, yo, Rodney don't really listen. Or he don't really, you know what I'm saying? He don't really be paying attention. You know what I'm saying? But I can't see that because I'm me. Like, I'm just growing up, you know. But I just knew that I always had this ability to know what I was missing and know that I had to put myself around. I had to put myself in a position to get it. So if I saw somebody that, you know, it's just like how if I want to learn something about a podcast, right? And I see you got this set up, I know, like, yo, let me just get around to Virus.
Right.
Because from a distance, I'm going to just learn just from watching. I'm going to learn just from listening. Like, I developed that now. But in the military...
It's a good skill for people to know, like being able to pay attention to when you see something and pick up on game and not be so... Not compare what they doing, but just appreciating what they doing and then just learning what you can learn in, you know.
That's the best way to word that, because you first got to appreciate it and admire it because it inspired you.
And not push away. You know, a lot of times people like try to, that's the reason why I feel like jealousy or what we call hating, where that stem from is like the fact that when they feel like they a little bit inspired, they like renege it. Like, man, you don't know what he doing. Mm-hmm. Because that's our way of like trying to tell ourselves that I wasn't inspired by that. Mm-hmm. Even when you go to in the hood or when you, wherever, like whenever you walk past a group of people, like when you walk past and if you got that aura, that energy, that vibration, and they like feel like this light towards it, they'll probably tell you something silly or try to be cool because they trying to tell themselves like, he ain't cool. I ain't inspired by her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I feel like. It's crazy.
What you just described was like, you on the side of you got something together that they don't, and words don't have to be said, but the energy can be felt. Like, cause it's almost like a PTSD. Like, man, they look like some haters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's so deep, bro. Like, I was learning about this. I don't know if this was a book or a video. Sorry if I can't reference it so people could check it out. But it just talked about like as people, like we animals too. So like we have like, what was it? It's kind of like it's like in our DNA, our genes. Like, you know, like when you get scared, like you can run so much faster. You can like even with like animals, like whenever they get in that moment, it's like everything peak. So with us, that's why we have like PTSD and stuff. With us, like when we go into a group, like we could feel the energy of people like having something to say or sending that energy. So like everything peak, our heart start beating. Like your instinct is just up. Somebody could move over there in the side of the room, you'll notice it, like because we could feel that. It's like our what you call our animals is like our that defense mechanism. It's like our
sixth sense or something.
It's like that sixth sense, wake up, like, you know what I'm saying? But I just say that to say like that's really what that is. Like, you know what I'm saying? We animals, so we had that instinct. So that's what, you know, when you go in them groups like that.
Yeah. Now I just want to mention this book just to the public, like the Celestine Prophecy.
You put me on that. Cold.
Cause like I think all human beings have like that ability to feel energy, or those moments where we get these ideas or these visions or these dreams and whatnot. And just going back to that example, like if you walk past some haters, like our aura, like, you know, it's picking up on that energy. But I just want to mention that just because like the level you speaking on is like above that real ground level touch, feel, smell. Like you talking about energy, you know. But But yeah, so like I forgot exactly.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. Let's check this out.
Yeah.
I'm about to help you.
Okay.
So before, I know we talked about your story, we talked about your upbringing, parents leaving at, divorcing at 8, your pops, sadly. Your pops still alive?
Nah, he actually passed from. He was on crack.
Rest in peace to Pops. Rest in peace to Pops.
Yeah.
But talked about Pops being on drugs. We talked about you know what I'm saying, you going to the Air Force. You know what I'm saying, learning what you were supposed to learn. My man was doing emergency fund as a kid. You know.
And to that point, I think like any kid in a humble beginning situation, like no, you building up a skill.
You are.
You setting up some emergency funds, like you developing.
So somebody I envy, bro. People I envy, respectfully. I envy people back in school who was hustlers who used to like sell candy. Like I was like, why the hell I ain't never do that? They was making money, bro.
Yeah.
But to bring it back. So we talked about those things. Now, what I know people want to hear is like the real estate side.
Okay.
So I want to get into the real estate. Cause my man, real estate guru here. We're gonna go ahead and put that out there. So what got you into the real estate? Like what was that journey?
All right. Let me just put this out there too, just in case, like, you know, people watch it. Like, one thing I want to say about my dad was, it wasn't just all bad, you know, like his demonstration was like, you know, even though he didn't have it all together, like every time I looked at him, he kept it solid in the moment.
Okay.
You know, look me in the eye, tell me the truth, you know, and just them early years, like he was present up until 8, and then he, even though it wasn't perfect, you know, then they split. And but just to touch back on the real estate, so okay, boom. See, I'm at my 6th year. I'm at that crossroad. Do I re-enlist or do I get out? But I had some money saved up, so I decided to get out.
Okay.
So I got out of the military in a recession.
And you in Flint at this time still, once you got out?
Nah, I got out in Texas. So on the recession.
You were stationed in Texas at that time, I'm guessing.
Nah, like I was actually in Japan. So I'm in Japan, okay, and I'm trying to figure out what my next move is. Like literally, I had some money saved up. I got this GI Bill. I could go to college. Right. And recession going on. Like, if I'm in Japan, like, where do I move out to? Okay. Because, you know, this jobs being lost, unemployment, all of this and that. So I definitely wasn't going back to Flint because that was recession my entire life. I already know, like, it ain't no opportunity up in there. I don't even want to waste my time with that. So then...
shout out to Flint.
Yeah, and shout out to Flint because I think in every ghetto, it's ghetto gold. You know what I'm saying? You just got to mine it. But recession going on, you know, you got to be conscious of like, okay, you can't just move. I can't just get out the military and go to a state that ain't got no jobs. Like, right. I ain't trying to
set yourself up for failure.
Yeah. Plus, everybody, I done put people on notice I'm getting out, family wise, and there, so everybody watching, like, especially just like we was talking about haters. You know, some people who, you know, they want to see you lose. Like, yo, he
I told you, I knew he was gone.
Yeah. And I would never, ever want to give them the satisfaction of being correct.
Hands is your motivators, bro.
Heck yeah.
Keep you pushing.
I'm a make sure I make good on my word. We'll make sure I make good on my word, mostly for myself and for your ass. For your ass too, because I just want to let you know, like, I reached the other side, you know. So, I had family in Texas. You know, Texas was a stable state. Like during that recession, like it didn't get hit as hard as, you know, other states. So, long story short, from Japan, I called my uncle. I said, hey, you know, I want to get out the military. Like, can I come stay with you just temporarily until I find me a place? And you know, my uncle Bruce, you know, he passed, but he was just like, yeah, you know, come on down. So long story short, I get out the military, had a little money saved up, stay with my uncle. You know, he had a apartment 2-bedroom, him and his wife, Texas. They let me get the empty room. So I get out and now it's like, okay, it's real life now. Like, you got your plans and everything and what you want to do and how it's gonna go, but now like I'm right in the moment, like now what I'm gonna do. So one thing I want to mention is I had another uncle who, whenever I was like at a crossroads, I would always call him up, my Uncle Hank. And what he taught me was like how to sit down and write down my goals on a piece of paper.
There we go.
What's working for me, what's working against me, what's my resources, and a time period that I want to accomplish them.
Best skill. That's the best skill to have right there is being able to listen. Having somebody who could sit down with you and show you stuff. A lot of times people don't want to listen to stuff. I just wanted to put that out there. Go ahead, you got it, man.
And that's and to that point right there, that's one thing that I really admire about you is your ability to structure. Like your ability to map stuff out and structure stuff, because like
Appreciate it.
That's a really good skill. So I had my uncle was somebody like you, somebody that, assisted me in teaching me how to structure my thoughts, like put my thoughts on paper. Cause I have a tendency to have everything in my head. Like I know exactly what I want to do. I'm willing to put the work in, but I could crowd my mind at times. So like he taught me like, just write everything, just brain dump on this piece of paper and put a timeline on each, how long it's going to take to accomplish each goal. So when I did that, that's when I started prioritizing it. Like, okay, I'm going to do this first. I'm going to finish my degree. I'm down to the simplest things. Like, okay, it'll take me, a couple weeks to find a car. It'll take me, maybe 2-3 weeks, a month to get me an apartment. Might take, a little time to get a job and whatnot. So, mind you, I had this money saved up, then my whole thing about money, I ain't no flashy type of guy. Like I could be up or down, but either way, I'm gonna still be
best way to do it.
Same. But it is times to,
enjoy yourself.
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Splurge a little bit. Responsibly.
Yeah, all of that.
If you got 10,000, you ain't saying spend 9. If you got 20, you ain't saying spend 15. You know, just spend what you can and be true to yourself with it.
100%. So I get out the military, I get me an apartment, I finish up school, and I'm about to graduate. Okay. So I'm about to graduate, but then I started
college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not no prestigious school or nothing like that. Like while I went to DeVry. I don't even tell people I got a degree.
Oh, I didn't even know you had a degree.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't even tell.
I respect it.
I don't tell people just because when people had them degrees, it's like that stamp. Like that's something else I want to talk about. Like I ain't even know how to go to school. Like I ain't know you go to school for the stamp. Like I went to Harvard. Like I went to Morehouse. Yeah. And to build your network in school. So when you step out in the light, you got a network. Professionals, you got that stamp. Like I went to that school. Oh, you went there? So I ain't understand none of that stuff. I just understood. I literally asked. I was literally on base. This is how I figured out which school I was going to go to. I was on base, and I had a friend who had a studio in his room. They in there freestyling.
On base?
On base.
I didn't know they be rapping on base.
Yo, they be rapping on base. The same guys that, be freestyling at home, the same guys be in the military too.
It's like, you can't watch this from you. You watched all this other stuff on my mind, but I'm about to be rapping. That's what I do.
Yeah, I'm a be the guy on base known for the raps. So, and plus,
you ever put some boys down for him?
I never did, man. I know what my lane is.
You said this is not it.
I stay in my lane. I respect the people. You get on the microphone and you do your thing, but I know that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to anybody that you
hell yeah,
put them bars down. You freestyle it, like do you, man? And win. But so I'm in this freestyle session, just hanging out. And I'm right about to get out the military. So I was just like, hey, man, like, I'm trying to figure out school.
Right.
Like, I literally had a friend like, say, go to DeVry.
Okay.
Go to DeVry. That's what he said.
And you like, shit, I'm going to DeVry then.
That's literally.
Period. I ain't thinking about no other school.
Yeah.
Going to DeVry.
That's it. So, plus coming from like, you know, one of them ghetto schools, they don't really, I really didn't feel like my writing skills was on point.
Because, bro, they push, bro, when you in the ghetto, when you in the hood, bro, they just push you through school. All you gotta do is just come here. Just come and you gonna graduate. That's it. Be attentive.
I was a product of that. So I came, didn't even graduate on time, but just showed up outside of the normal curriculum in summer school and graduated. You know what I'm saying? So when I went to school, that's when I had the opportunity to just tighten up. Like, let me tighten up on my grammar skills. Let me tighten up on my math skills. Like, let me tighten up on all of this stuff. So I learned that. I also learned that I learned discipline while I was in the military. Okay. I learned how to do something that I really didn't want to do.
But you had to do.
And sacrifice for it. I learned just the general basics that most have if, you know, you coming up in the suburbs or, you know, go to better schools. I just really like built that foundation of really just the basics.
Okay.
So then, and then I'll say like I learned the concepts, you know, business, marketing, just the general, not even like no expert level. I just got exposed to the concepts. So anyway, like,
at what point though did you make that transition to real estate though?
Got you. So, okay, I graduate. I know, or I had that feeling like, do I really want to go work for a motherfucker? Do I really want to put myself right back into some structure? Because I just left the military and gave them, you know, 6 years.
Nice 6 years. It's a long time.
Heck yeah. I just, you know, finished up giving school, you know, their time. Now, do I really want to go get a job and do what somebody else want me to do?
Right.
No. So, at that time, I actually had one of my favorite uncles pass. This some Celestine kind of like random.
That's the one who was teaching you how to structure.
It wasn't, but he was on that same level. He was on that same level as somebody. If I was trying to figure out which way up was, I'll call him up. But he passed. So at this moment, I'm gonna tie it all together. At this moment, like, man, you know, my dad passed, my uncle passed. My dad's side, you know, ain't that many. I got an uncle. He's been locked up my whole, you know, life. Only met him one time. So it's kind of like when that happened, I literally logged on to Facebook and typed in my last name just to see, you know,
what'd come up?
If it was some other family out there. Cause
like on Ancestry or something like that, or just on Google?
Nah, like, you know, like how Facebook got mutual friends.
Oh, Facebook. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'm just like, wonder who else out there. Just cause I'm 20, 23 or something like that, noticing that, you know, it's my grandmother and then me. Like, I'm next up. Like, you know, kind of like, man. Long story short, I found out I had a great uncle in Florida. Then I had a friend that, ironically, was relocating from Florida to Texas. So we take a road trip to Florida. If anybody saw the movie The Mac, like the very beginning, how like that older man, he just giving the camera zoomed in on him.
Yeah.
He just giving Goldie like the gems. So like I literally went to Florida. I met my uncle for the first time. Like, ain't no real height, you know, in the family, but he like 6'4". Damn. He answered the door. He tall. You know what I'm saying? Real cool. Like, super, super cool. He didn't really say too much. He was just like, man, it's good seeing you. You know, like, go in the garage real quick. Went in the garage, just this drop top Porsche. He ain't had no big house or nothing. He was just like going to the garage. He had like this Porsche. Then he had these plaques from like these Cadillac plaques, like on the wall or whatever. And then I came out the garage. I sat down in the living room. And then I just started telling them exactly where I was at in life. Like, yo, I got this money. I just finished school. I don't want to get no job. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. So then he told me the truth. He was just like, yo, like you took your big, he was like, you went to school at DeVry. That was a mistake. What the fuck were you thinking? You know what I'm saying? Like you should have went somewhere else. Yeah, he told me the straight up truth. I'm just sitting there just getting Swiss cheese, you know. So then he was just like,
sandwich. He trying to tell you like, man, you fucking up, man. You shouldn't have did that.
Basically. So then he was just like, hey man, he was like, he was like, your best chance is to get you. He was like, this is what you do with your money. He was like, take that money and go buy a house. Mm-hmm. And what he really wanted me to do was buy like a small apartment, like a 2 to 4 unit, live in one and rent it out. At that time, I ain't have the awareness to know what he was trying to set me up for. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to get no apartment because I'm in an apartment right now. Like, I don't want nobody on top of me to the left, to the right. I don't want no apartment. I want to be the guy with the house. I'm single. Just so when I meet some women, I can take them back to the house.
You coming to the crib. We're not going up these stairs.
Yeah, we ain't going up the stairs. We about to come to my house, and I'm waiting on you to say, well, how much you pay rent? I don't pay rent. I own this. I wanted to be that guy.
Yeah.
I ain't listening to him with the apartment. I bought a house, which still was cool. And I put like majority.
This was in Texas?
Yeah.
Bought a house in Texas?
Yeah, Texas. Okay. So I put like, he told me to put like, I put this out. Like I had, at time, I had like, maybe like 60 grand saved up at that time. And then I had came into, a little more. But mind you, I developed them emergency saving funds. So while I'm in the military, I'm just saving.
So
you
been doing it since you was 10, and all you know how to do is save money.
Exactly. So like I put majority of it into the house. Down payment. I'm following what my uncle told me to do. Even though I didn't have to. Reason why he told me to do that was because he was afraid that I was going to splurge and blow it and lose it. So like, that was my entry into real estate. And the day that I bought the house, I noticed that the realtor didn't find my house. Like I found my house. So, you're going to get paid for what I found. And just the amount of time it took for me to find the house, close on the house, and watch the realtor walk away with the check. Not to take anything away from realtors or anything like that, because I'm a realtor right now, because it is a real skill. Like, you really do develop the skill to find what somebody want, listen to what they want, guide them through that process.
And middlemen are winning, bro. Middlemen is everything. Amazon is an example. That's a middleman. They killing it. They in between the product. You selling something, you want it, and all we do is bring it in and ship it to you. So real estate, the middleman. Hey, that's millions made.
Middlemen are winning. That's like a whole course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you become the middleman? How do you, But anyway, so I buy the house. Right then and there, I got inspired to be a realtor. And then this is what my uncle told me to do. Oh, yeah. So my uncle told me to get a real estate license. I ain't want to get a real estate license because I just got this degree.
You know, I might go use this degree, get me a good job.
Yeah. I'm about to get the degree. And, I'm on Yahoo. I'm about to get one of these top careers on Yahoo. And you know what I'm saying? And just get this job where I can go to this office and, you know what I'm saying? Do that. So fast forward, I bought the house. Saw how the realtor got that check, and I was like, that's why he told me to get this license. Literally, well, let me back it up. I was about to finish school. right then and there, I was probably 30 days away from getting my degree. Mm-hmm. But right then and there, I started going to I signed up for real estate school.
Ironically.
At the same, so like literally at my graduation, I'm walking away from the traditional career path and right into being a real estate entrepreneur. So
then you run into your uncle. Then he say, "Go get your real estate license." You like, what? No.
Yep. So it all connected like that. So boom, that was my entry level. Got my real estate license. Had this house. Had this mortgage. Brand new entrepreneur. Didn't know nothing about how to run no business with real experience, but I got like, I read, about it in school and all of that.
Yeah.
But
figure this out on the go, on the fly.
Now it's time to apply this shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, like 6 years as a realtor. Let me backtrack. I was a realtor for 4 years. 4 years as a realtor, full time. I know what it's like to be up and down in business.
What's the most you made on one deal in real estate? As agent.
I'll talk about okay, so the most deal I made on one deal, not that much. Like 20 as a realtor. Yeah.
One deal,
yeah. Ooh. Which ain't,
to a lot of people, that's a lot. It ain't, when you get into like investing, like that's not a lot. Yeah. But to the average person, like with like a little job, like they like, shit, that's what I make in a year.
Right. So like, this is how my first year went. I got my license like halfway in a year, so I only had like 6 months left in the year. Okay. First 3 months, I went down 20 grand, like in the hole.
What that's paying for like marketing and materials and stuff like that?
Paying for marketing. My gas bill shot up. I was paying like $400 or $500 a month in gas riding around. I had to learn the city. I had to take people on showings and just paying for marketing, paying for expense. My car broke down. I had a Firebird.
Okay.
Yo, my first car was a Monte Carlo. I wanted like an 87. Cause I had grew up seeing like, all the dope boys, they had the Monte Carlo, the Cutlasses.
Yeah, that was the thing. My pops had one, I know.
Yeah. So my first car when I was in middle was a Cutlass. Mm-hmm. Nah, correction. It was a Cutlass. I wanted a Monte Carlo, but I found a Cutlass. Anyway, then I wanted a Firebird, but I had this Firebird when I was in Texas that broke down on me on a showing. Started smoking. Like one of the hoses came off.
You make that sale that day.
Yeah. But so like car broke down, that contributed to going down 20 grand. Just paying for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, just me in 3 months.
Just personal expenses brung you down like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That broke down. I had to drop like down payment, a new car, all of that. I just basically went down 20 grand, just paying for mortgage. Now I had to pay this car note, this insurance, pay this gas, pay for marketing, had to pay to become a realtor. Long story short, went down 20. Next 3 months, I made 40. So I made my 20 back plus, 20 on top.
On the next deal, made 40.
The next 3 months.
Oh,
First 3 months.
Okay.
First 3 months went down 20. Next 3 months of the year went up 40. Then January, come the brand new year, I made 20 in 1 month. I made 20 in 1 month.
That was like, how many deals that was in that month?
I can't even remember, but it was a combination of like closing, maybe a couple houses, 2-3 houses.
Okay. How long did it take to get your real estate license? Anybody trying to get it?
You can get a real estate license probably in about a month and a half.
Damn.
Like, go through your courses.
How long for me to get 20 bands, though?
That's all on, like, your ability to learn what's working, what's not working, and put some systems around it.
Okay.
So I had to learn how to like get leads. I had to learn how to close. I had to learn how to sell, how to close. I had to learn how to dress. I had to learn how to go get money over in the like whenever you selling, like I had to learn how to serve the ghetto, the middle, and the high. Okay. Like I exposed myself to all of it.
Okay.
So but throughout them 6 months, I was taking risk with the money to figure this shit out.
So what you funding? So as a real estate agent, what comes out of your pocket? What you got to pay for?
So like you got to pay for like access to the MLS.
Okay. So that's an annual fee?
Yo, I just reactivated it, my license now, so I might be a little off. But I want to say you pay like quarterly fees. Okay. You pay quarterly fees. I had to pay the broker like a desk fee. I started off with Remax. Okay. I had to pay him like $225 a month, just as a desk fee.
That's for a little office or something, I'm guessing?
Yeah, like just to say I work with Remax, the desk fee was $225 a month. Okay. And each broker, they can set up, you know, they agents however they want to. Like, you know, you
for
go to
people who don't know what a broker is, like what's a broker?
So a broker is where, so you go to school, you take the courses, you take the test, you pass the exam. Now you have to place your license with the broker. So a broker it's just like, this is a good example. It's just like,
what they house everybody's licensing?
Yeah, they house your you operate through the broker. Cause
middleman. Yeah. Hence again, the middleman's always winning.
It's the perfect middleman position because, you know, then you got splits. Your broker is also someone who you go to with questions. Hey, how do I close this deal? Or, you know, I'm struggling to find people. Like, your broker's that person that you go to when you got questions about anything business related. Y'all choose each other. You choose them and they choose you.
Okay.
That's basically what a broker is. And then you got your splits. Like, my split was like 80-20. So
who got 80, who got 20?
I got 20, I got 80, he got 20.
Oh, I was about to say. yeah, that's why they call him a broker. You go broke dealing with them.
Go broke as hell if you was just moving like that. So I got 80, he got 20, plus a monthly desk fee, $225. And you know, you got all the agents.
Whole lot of fees going on.
Yeah, one broker could have, you know, 60 agents, 100 agents. So imagine like the desk fee.
In one office, or is that like just under their belt?
And I ain't no broker. I just know like a broker could have, you know, X amount of agents. You know, they got a desk fee. Like at the time, $225 a month plus the split. So you getting 20% off. You know what I'm saying? If it's $1,000, you getting 200. I'm getting 8. You know. So yeah. So okay. First 3 months went down 20. Next 3 months went up 40. Month after that, January. Within the first month, the next year I made 20. Then head got big. Oh, you know, I just made this lump sum this month, you know, ooh.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine. Coming from saving all that money, now you get to make it and spend it, yeah.
Yeah. Plus, like, now I'm learning how to get chunks, you know, and I got a little time before I pick back up, you know, as a realtor, start selling again. So
you start budget. So when you're making them lump sums as a real estate agent, like your time is really free. It's really however you schedule it.
Yeah.
So when you make them big lump sums, you just kind of plan out your bills.
Yep.
You're like, well, I ain't got to start working until like 4 months. So I just, damn, it's okay. So that's like so that's kind of what got you. So I guess that's kind of probably what set you up to being an investor now.
Yeah.
Being that you already was in that system of like being free, controlling my money based off of what I do.
Yep.
I'm liking that. So what transitioned you over to the investor side, away from the real estate, away from the real estate agent into the investor?
Got you. I just want to touch on this real quick too. Mm-hmm. So like when I was a realtor, every now and then I'll smoke like a little weed. Like every now and then, you know.
Okay.
So like when I came back.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs. You know what I'm saying? You got to become your own high, you know. So I came back, you know, I bought. I just say these things just because it matters. Like, especially, you know, you do anything business. So I came back, bought some weed, playing a game.
Weed not a drug, though, just so y'all know.
Right.
Don't do drugs.
Right.
Take it how you want them.
Listen. Listen. So I came back feeling good off of vacation. Smoking, playing a game. I'm playing, Call of Duty.
The PlayStation 3, what this is? 2, 4.
PS4. I'm on the sticks. I got the earpiece in. I'm having a good old time. Yeah. Mind you, time going by, you know what I'm saying? And long story short, I fell out of rhythm with being a salesman.
Distractions.
Like, I got distracted. So long story short, I just bring that up just because I had to build up that momentum again. I learned like cycles, like it's times of the year where people buy homes more than others. I'm thinking I'm just going to jump back out, but I ain't work like that. So fast forward, I'm a realtor. I'm finding success. You know, I had a house. I done learned how to generate leads. I'm learning how to open a conversation, how to close. I done drove around the city. Like when I went down 20, I was, spending like $400 or $500 a month on gas, like learning to see. But by this time, like at up to 4 years, now I know the city. Like now I know, okay, you want a house over here, I'm gonna take you over there. Like now I know everything. But at this time,
this is Texas.
Yeah, this
so what areas you familiar with in Texas? Whole Texas or
nah,
certain region?
Like specifically, San Antonio. Like I could sell in Houston or Dallas, but I got out the military. Oh yeah, I got out of the military. That's where. Another reason why I got out in San Antonio because it's like military friendly. So I just figured I could get out. That's
funny. I got my aunt, her pops when he got out of the army. San Antonio.
Yeah.
Where you went?
I just figured, okay, it's a recession. I'm going to get out, military-friendly city. I can get a job. Yeah. Just being a vet. Like, that was my that's how I pieced it together. But fast forward, like, I'm 4 years in. I know how to be a realtor. I know how to help somebody buy and sell. Mm-hmm. But that's when I started coming into real estate investing knowledge.
Okay.
And specifically, shout out to Jay Morrison. Like, I had... saw one of his videos on YouTube. And mind you, I've been around construction sites. I've been around people mentioning, buy the fixer-upper and sell it. Mm-hmm. But I'm already making money. I already got clients. So it's not something that I want to learn how to do because I really got this down. So then... once I got exposed to that knowledge, that's when, you got the buying and selling, but then you got investing. Like, you got, finding a deal, purchase ratios.
Putting your own money into it.
Yeah, like return on investment, fix and flip, find you a house to fix it up, flip it, wholesale. Being a middleman, like you said, and then buying. I had a hard time finding a multi because now I'm trying to. It's one thing to have knowledge, but you don't know how true it is until you put it to the test. So okay, I'm looking for a multi. I couldn't find it. I'm getting frustrated. I'm going crazy because I'm like literally all day, like riding around. Online, like trying to couldn't find it. Long story short, I found the property. Did the research, found one. Only way I could get it, I had to go all in on it. Because
what's going all in?
All in is when I moved from Texas to Georgia, they could so the banks, if you want to get financed by and it's different types of financing. But typically they want to see your last 2 years tax returns. You got to have your credit score 580 or better, preferably at least 640, 620, 640 or better. And the better your credit score, the lower your interest rate. Mm-hmm. You just getting cheaper money. Yeah, your mortgage payment's going to be lower, all of that. So anyway, my goal was to find a fixer upper. And because it's different loans. You got FHA 203K. These are renovation loans where you buy a abandoned, beat up property. The bank give you the money to fix it up. All you bring is a down payment.
3.5% still?
Yeah, still 3.5%.
Yeah.
And it's different, like, they call it like products. Like one loan product or program might say 3.5%, another one might say 3%, so on and so forth. You got hard money. You got multiple ways you could do this.
Multiple ways to get financing.
Creative ways. You creatively, that's a whole nother lane that, Tavares knows way more about in terms of acquiring credit and whatnot than I, he's taught me a lot, So I choose a bank. I ain't gonna say the name of the bank. And I couldn't go 3.5% down because it required me to base it on what I made, my salary and whatnot. But because I moved from Texas to Georgia, it was basically like, yo, you starting over. So we can't count this as proof that you could pay us back. But the only way I could do it, and this is strategy, they use the future rents. It was a 3-unit.
Yeah.
So they gave me a percentage of the future rents towards my income.
I think that's what, 75% on the dollar, right?
Well, different banks had different amounts that they'll credit you up to. So say like one bank might say we'll give you 90%. So say like
they got something to give you 90%? No, that's game.
So if they charge, so say if you could get like $1,000 a month for a rental, they'll say, okay, we'll count $900 towards your income.
Okay.
So if it's 3, that's $2,700 a month. So I bring them the down payment, and mind you, I ain't had like a bunch of debt because military paid for school.
Hence, he went to DeVry. If you would have went to Harvard, you would have been $150,000 in debt. They'd have looked at you and been like, no. So people who going to school, I don't have nothing against school, but if you're going to school and you're going for something that you want to do and you got some things set up, more power to you. But if you're just going to school for business and you at these Ivy League schools, good luck. It's a way to do everything, though, but good luck.
That's a whole nother. That's some serious game right there. Like, do not go to school and just get to this debt.
You do that is. I feel like that's not the best way to get introduced to that. It's a college degree.
Yeah.
Like what? 18-year-old kid going to school, get out when they 22, 23, and you got $150,000 in debt. Yeah. Just saying, but you do what make you happy. If that's what make you happy, then I say you do it. But if you looking to be up, you got to be intentional and you got to know what you're getting into.
And on top of that, what most people do, you need a status symbol. So okay, now I got this degree. Now I need a car to match me. So I'm gonna go buy this $20,000, $30,000. Now you wasn't, 40, 50, 60. Then you put another 30 on top.
More than 30, because if you a doctor, you can't drive no Honda.
Yeah.
You gotta have the Benz. If you a lawyer, you cannot drive no Honda.
Right.
You need the big body. Your career, for some odd reason, dictate how you should be living. Like what? Like,
so you got college debt, and then you got some car debt you put on top of that. You might have some credit card debt already
from school.
Then now you need the house. So you put a house on top of that.
Yeah, 200, 300 on top of that. But before we get too deep in that, but back to the real estate. So you were saying how you was doing you was getting the rental income before you started renting it out to get that house. Like what that process keep going with that one?
So like so the way that I was able to qualify, I did a rehab loan where the bank, I found a property, and mind you, I was a realtor too. So when I bought it, I got a check for buying it.
That's a game. That's a gem.
Hell yeah.
So you was your own real estate agent in the deal and paid yourself for finding your house.
Yep. So I got a check for finding it. I'm learning these strategies. I'm putting them into action. And that bank used, even though this building was raggedy and beat up, they used the future rents to help me qualify for it. So long story short, I qualify, I buy it.
What's your down payment? What percent?
Man, let me see.
In rough estimate, we don't got to get too deep. I mean, like
maybe, because I don't remember. Probably maybe like 15, maybe like 15, something like that. So at this point, I had some savings, and I had some lines of credit, some credit cards. I had to pretty much put down in a down payment maybe 80 to 85% of all my money saved up.
Straight into it.
Similar to what happened when I first bought that house. Like I put it was almost like that. And I just left a little bit because I remembered the first time I went down 20 grand. Mm-hmm. I can go if some adversity come, I know I could go 20 grand deep. So I knew like, okay, I'm gonna just have access. I had like 20 grand left in savings and then some credit cards. And that's what I was gonna do this renovation with, on top of like what the bank had qualified me for to like do the rehab. So long story short,
what the purchase price was?
I bought it a little over 2.
Okay.
Bought it a little over 2. And so now it's time to do my first rehab.
Start the repairs.
And mind you, as a realtor, I had clients who I referred a roofer to or a tile guy to, something like that. So, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm familiar with this process.
Contractor before becoming a contractor, basically.
Yeah. Familiar with this,
Once again, the middlemen are winning.
100%. So now it's like, okay, I had to find, one of the requirements of this loan was I had to find a general contractor to like take on the project, do the rehab, basically. Because I ain't no contractor. I don't know how to fix nothing up. The bank ain't going to trust me with not having no background and giving me the money to fix this property up.
Right.
So I found a GC. Find the GC, we start the project. And long story short, like, you got to be careful with who you choose as a general contractor, because all GCs are not created equal. Like, it's some GCs that do you right, and then it's some that, they see what type of position that you in, and they give you this fake number. And they give you this fake number of how much it's going to cost, and then they say, oh, this came up. So then that number that you thought was going to work at first, it keep increasing. And so anyway, I start the rehab, and this is how I met, Tavares, like through the process of my rehab. So anyway, I start the rehab. I hit every major problem you could think of. But initially, when I got into it, it's a raggedy building. I can't judge it in this condition. I know it need work.
Yeah, look at the ARV.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to the research I did, that ARV.
So you purchased it for how much? What was the range? In the twos?
A little over 2.
And then what the ARV was on it?
At the time, now this something else. So for a buy and hold, like, I wasn't looking to flip it. So I wasn't necessarily paying attention to the ARV. I was more so paying attention to the cash flow. Like, I was paying attention to the cash flow and being in a position where I could live free. Because this was going to be my foundation. This is going to be my starting point. Like, I'm going to be a realtor here. I just want to be in this position. I got to get on. Anything could happen. I could go down. I just want to be in a position where I can live for free. So I was just paying attention to cash flow. And mind you, I didn't know that ARV wasn't really it. It was more like, okay, the area is going to come up over time. I'm going to get my appreciation later. Like, I just want this position where I can live free and get this cash flow.
What that house worth now? What's the range on that? Man, bought it for 2-something, and now it's worth what? Especially with this recession hitting, I know it's up there.
Yo, it's worth like probably close to 5.
5.
Crazy. Now it's
over 100% return for your money. If you was just buy out and just flip it, if you wanted to, like that's.
Now it's a story within that.
With real estate, it's always layers and layers and layers.
So my ambitious ass, considering a third career change. Long story short, I asked the contractor, hey, can you teach me construction? I wanted to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I wanted to do my rehab and learn construction and become a builder. Like, I really wanted to get that GC license. I wanted to build it and then sell it with the real estate license. So anyway, he took me under his wing. Older man, 66 at the time, black man, owned his own construction company, 20 years, engineer, worked at NASA, had all the credentials, right? And this is a bittersweet relationship. So anyway, we start the rehab, hit every problem you could think of, electrical, plumbing. I had to do the roof, like
full rehab.
Full rehab.
What was the cost on your entire rehab?
Man,
what's your all in?
I probably say like all together. I'm still actually figuring that part out. But I'll just say like starting off, it was maybe like 90.
So it cost the purchase price 2-something. So let's just say it was 200,000.
Yeah.
And then your rehab 90,000. So 290.
Yeah.
All in.
All in. And my return, I should know this top of mind, but it's a reason why. Like, I'm in this middle space right now. I'm gonna get to that. Anyway, like my return was gonna be like around 8%, something like that. My ROI. So
each room, because what is it? Four. It's a quadruplex. So
no, it's a 3 unit. It's a 3 unit.
3 unit. Yep. And each room is like what you would get renting.
At that time when I first got it, 2 of them was $950, and the main unit was $1,250.
Okay.
That's how much it was. So start my rehab and switch careers at the same time. And I learned a big lesson about patience. Like, I ain't had no patience when I first moved. I just wanted to...
It's a virtue. Patience is a virtue.
I wanted to rush and hurry up and get this license so I could hurry up and start building and selling. I was just trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and rush through this shit. Yeah. So, boom, I started the rehab. Everything fucking happened. It was like fighting Tyson. Like, these knockout blows started coming. First off, the way that renovation loan worked was the contractor had to use his money to buy materials, pay for labor, and then the bank would pay him back.
He paid them in draws.
Yeah. Now, no contractor wants to do that because they rather work with the person that got the cash. They pay for the labor. They don't want to come out their own pocket for your ass. So anyway, I had them lines of credit. I tapped, like, okay, we're going to start this off. I'm going to use these credit cards, like these lines of credit. I'm going to pay for the materials, pay for the labor. I'm going to front it myself. Let me backtrack. The bank, they gave me like 50%. They gave us the first draw, but it still wasn't enough. So I had to tap my card at the same time. And basically, like, I got hit with, electrical plumbing, like times 3 units.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rehabbing 3 units, like furnaces, condensing units. Like, this is a beat up building.
Tell me, so what transitioned you over into getting into the Airbnb? Because you got the big Airbnb success right now, so you got to spit some game on that.
So long story short, I get through the rehab. I'm in a lot of debt. Mm-hmm. Like, I ran up, I want to say like 55 grand in credit card debt. Mm-hmm. Like, back against the wall. Cause I done gave, time towards learning a new career. I'm doing a rehab, ran up this credit card
Spread yourself thin.
Stretch myself, spread myself so thin to where I was down bad, like extremely bad, like noodles and Pop-Tarts. Like
away from that 20 grand and 40 grand he was making in 3 months, going to Europe, coming back with hats.
Stuff like, oh, that's going. Like I'm walking around same clothes every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like full construction mode, just broke, struggling and trying to cut a deal with God. Please, God, get me out of this. Get me out, jammed up. So anyway, I was like, I have to get something going. What's my best chance to pay all of this back? Long story short, I got exposed to AirBNB as a way to like double and triple your rents. I had been hearing about it. I was like, nah, I ain't gonna fool with no Airbnb. That's like a whole process, a whole job. So anyway, like that was my best chance to help pay this debt back. So long story short, I had a little bit of credit left on a card. That was like my last ditch effort to like, create some income, set up Airbnb right by the airport. I catch the layovers. It's flowing. Like it's doing very well. And I learned to build a team. I want to say like, I operated from a space of trying to do a lot of stuff on my own, but now that I'm on the other side of it, I've learned the value of, building teams, like building partnerships, building relationships. Your relationships will get you back on when you get down. And whatever you did up to that point to create yourself some income, combined with your that's how you get back on. That's the gist of like, the story.
Well, so much more you could say. We're gonna definitely have to bring you back on for a part 2, bro, because there's so much, but we're gonna get ready to wrap. Appreciate your time for coming through. So, wrapping up the show, any words of encouragement you want to say to people? How can people get in touch with you? Talk to them. Nah, go ahead.
You can find me on Instagram, RealEstateRodney.
Everywhere? Or just on Instagram?
Yeah, RealEstateRodney on Instagram. I'm still setting my stuff up. But RealEstateRodney, Instagram. I just say Instagram. RealEstateRodney. And motivation, I would say like, it started with mindset. Like I was in a real depressed state. You know what I mean? But the research I did, I was accurate, and I kind of bounced back. But I would say like, if you count yourself out, you got to count yourself back in. And I used to tell myself like, I'm done losing. Like it's somebody else's turn. Like I paid my due. I took my ass whoop. I got jumped. It's somebody else's turn. And don't do nobody's self-made. Like that self-made, like a lot of times that ego, you want to say you got it off the strength, you did it by yourself, all of that. None of us are self-made. Like it's been people along the way at each point to help me figure things out. So build your relationships, get out your ego, tell yourself the truth. You don't know everything. Your own best thinking can only take you so far. Like you need people around you. Like it's times where Tavares, I'll run something across the helm and he'll filter it out. Like, yo, why don't we just approach it like this or that? So just know that you don't know everything, but put people around you to where you can play to your strengths and delegate your weaknesses that are other people's. They strong in. Your team, relationship, everything ain't about right now, patience, and take risks, because you and be okay with failure, because you risk big, you win big. You risk big, you lose big. You got to treat them both the same, and pay your dues. Like you gonna fail, you gonna have people that tell you can't do it, but you got to stand up inside yourself regardless, and stay solid, stand on your square, and keep focused, maintain your focus, keep going.
Well, there we go. And it's a lot of games you can learn from that. You know what I'm saying? That's going to end the episode. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you for coming through. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you jot down some notes. We're going to have to do a part 2 because there's so much more to the story, so much more you can learn from my man. But that's going to wrap it up. Appreciate y'all for coming through. I'll let y'all. That's it, man.
That was dope.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, my man. You over there taking care of it.